energetic hygiene can be a place that our fear loves to get like really control-y about. And we want to make sure that any tool that we're using, A, you guys find your own way to inhabit that tool, to really take it on. And B, that we only apply tools when delicious. So we don't effort our way with these tools that we use. So this just goes to the energetic hygiene kit, which is a lovely thing to do daily or many times a day if it's delicious. But in no way are you unprotected, unshielded, or in any kind of danger if you don't do it, because there is no separation. But it's like they're just like these little tune-ups is what energetic hygiene is. It's like it's a little tune-up to just get the whole energy field, which is sort of that which is before the body takes form. So it's the foundational movement of your body. It's just sort of like daily little tune-ups to keep it moving as easy as it possibly can. So that's how this moves. So let's do some grounding together. And grounding is a really sweet process where we bring our energy down to the earth. And it's a one-way channel, not a two-way channel. We don't bring the earth energy into us. We put the energy down into the earth. There's another way of grounding that you can bring earth energy up. But let's just take this time to put our energy down into the earth. And so I like to imagine that we humans are like trees, and we have tree branches that come out of our feet. But our tree branches are gossamer-like. They're sort of like clear threads. And they come out of all of the areas of the foot where an acupuncturist or an acupressurist might put pressure. So it's like all kinds of areas of your feet, all the pads of your toes, the pad across the front of your foot, your heel, along the sides, like all kinds of beautiful little threads, gossamer threads, but they're the human roots, are going to come out of your foot, and you're going to feel it sort of plant itself down into the dirt. So it's going to go through whatever, if there's carpet and flooring, you're going to sort of feel, and if you're visual, you'll see it going down to the dirt. And then it's going to penetrate through the dirt into the rock level of the planet. And then it keeps going past the rock level of the planet down to the crystal layers of the planet, and finally into the warm, molten center of the planet. So I'm just going to talk through this a few times so you can just keep feeling that there's like energy, like roots coming out of your feet. And they're moving down to the earth because you belong to the earth. Your minerals are the same minerals as the earth, and they're magnetic. So there's like a magnetic draw of this energy out of your foot in a root bundle that goes down and hits the dirt, and then it hits the rock, and then it hits the crystal, and then it hits the warm, molten center. And let's just feel it again. So these roots are coming out of your system, just really magnetized to the earth, the same minerals. It's like you belong to the earth, so they're rooting down to the dirt, and then into the rock, and then into the crystal, and then into the warm center of the earth. Let's just do it one more time. And you're just feeling yourself. You'll start to feel yourself grounding, like the energy in your body will start to feel grounded. You might have a lovely exhale. You might feel a little more solid. You might feel a little more inhabited. And these are the signatures you're looking for. So let's just allow that energy coming out of our feet to be magnetically drawn to this big mama earth. And we're letting those root bundles come out of our feet and hit the dirt layer of the planet, and then pierce through into the rock layer, and then pierce through into that crystal layer, and then bang into the warm center lava. It's like it just like finding home there. It just melts itself into the center of the planet. And then we're going to do the same thing with our tailbones. So we're going to imagine that out of the base of our tail is like this beautiful, for me, I like to think of it as a long cord, and my cord is kind of clear and light filters through it. In the movie Avatar, they did a beautiful job with people's tails, where these lovely light-filled tails would plug into things. So we've got a tail coming out of our tailbone energetically, and it's going to go down in the same direction. It's going to be magnetically pulled into the earth, and we're going to allow that energy from our root, from our tailbone, to go down into the dirt, and then pierce through the dirt into the rock, and then from the rock into the crystal, and from the crystal layer of the planet into the warm center home. Let's just do that a few times, like really feeling from that root, from the tail. This cord of energy comes out of your tail, hits the dirt, hits the rock, hits the crystal, hits the warm center, plugging you in, connecting you in, this magnetic just pull. So this magnetizing of belonging to the earth, that's the magnetic pull, this belonging, same mineral structure, calling you home, pulling it out of your root to go down into the dirt, then into the rock, then into the crystal, and then into the warm planet, the heart of the planet. So then just take a little scan for a second and just feel that movement of grounded. Sometimes it's really easy for us to ground, and it just takes a second, and then we just plug ourselves in. And sometimes it takes a long time to get grounded, and we have to just keep feeling our energy moving in that magnetic pull, in that direction down into the center of the earth. Different day, different levels of grounding. And sometimes we need to know that it's safe. It's safe to plug into the energy of the earth and let ourselves get connected there. So that feels good. I can feel everybody here that's connected in. So let's do a little bit of shielding, which is to take, I like to use light, because we as human creatures are so affected by sunlight. And that's just the sunlight in the day or a sunshiny day, depending on the season. But we have such a visceral experience of sunshine. So I like to use that. So those of you that are more visceral can feel it, and those of you that are more imagistic can see it. Those of you that do both can do both. But I want you to imagine if you were sitting in the sunshine, and if you close your eyes, you would feel that sunshine on you. And it would be an expanded energy, something really wide, and it's something warm. And even with your eyes closed, you can sort of feel the lightness of it. And so I want you to feel that sensation or see that sensation of like light covering your body. And so we'll start with just the front of the body, just making your way to feeling as if in front of you was a shield of sunlight. And the sunlight, again, it's bright, it's expansive, it's warm. And it's wide across the whole front of your body. And it does two beautiful things. You can imagine that any energy outside of that shield, so anything outside of you coming towards you, just hits and melts into that beautiful sunlight, which is really what all things long to do. So this is sort of like weird energy off of somebody you're sitting beside, or if you walk into an environment and you feel it's a little bit heavy or dense or cruddy. I sometimes feel like it's like gremlin-y. You can just sort of like feel yourself put this shield up of this like warm, bright, expanded light. And really you're just charging the auric field in front of you, which goes out almost as far as if you put your arm in front of you, that whole auric field. And you're just letting that be charged with your intention and with your sensations and with your images. You're charging up that field so that that charge just gets this sort of tapped into this brighter, more expansive, warmer movement. And just taking your time to feel your way there. And it's this beautiful movement that just shields from any energy outside coming in, just can melt into that and sort of dissolve itself into sunlight. And on the inside, any parts of your body that feel fragile, or places that you feel a little separate, or you feel a little wounded, or there's some kind of an injury, you can just feel this shielding, which is an energetic support for this wounded area. So if you have a sore knee or a hip or a foot, or maybe you've had a hard emotional day and somewhere around your heart or solar plexus feels fragile, you can feel the warmth of this, the expandedness of this, the brightness of this, to just give this energetic support for any part of yourself that feels just a little separate, a little fragile. So just taking your time to just keep charging this auric field with this shielding. And then we're going to wrap it around the back as well. And I like to really kind of have these two intentions, like take your time with the front, and we're so used to feeling that sunlight on us. And of course, any time that you're in sunlight, going for a walk or just sitting in a window or sitting outside, it will help you to reinforce that feeling of just shielding, charging up your auric field with this beautiful shield of light. And so now we're going to do it with the back, so we can have just single focus on the front, now single focus on the back. And you want your shield to go from the crown, so just above your head, from the crown all the way down to your feet. And it's just this charged auric field, so the charging of the space just behind your body that is wrapped with this beautiful, bright, warm, expanded, like sunlight. So you're basically cocooning the whole body in this sunlight, but taking our time to really just solely focus on the back right now. And anything that feels fragile, like your neck or any part of your spine or your lower back, or any injuries in the back of the knee, like just any extra fragility around there, just take a second and really feel that you're charging up the space around it with this beautiful, bright, warm, expanded light. And it just gives this support. It's an uplift. And so it's wrapping around the whole back of your body from crown to foot, cocooned in sunlight. Just taking your time to really feel the warmth of it, really feel the brightness of it, really feel the expandedness of it. Just with your intention, you're influencing or charging that energy around your body in a sensation that is so familiar, that lovely feeling of sunshine on your back, the lovely feeling of sunshine down the back of the head, or the back of your arms, the back of your legs. And letting yourself feel the protection of that, where any energy coming from outside of you towards you could just dissolve into light. Anything inside that feels fragile or in need of support gets this lovely energetic support. And now let's take a moment and just feel a whole cocoon from front to back. You're just surrounded in sunlight. Letting yourself feel any injured area or fragile area, just anything that feels just a little separate, to feel protected. It also helps to create an autonomy, because in reality our energy isn't really separate from the air, from the world. And just with our intention, we can create a little separation, a little autonomy that's really helpful for the integrity of our bodies. And now let's just take a second to revisit the sensation of grounding for a moment, to recognize that you can be very grounded and shielded. So the energy in your feet and the energy in the tailbone is going down to the dirt and rock and crystal and warm planet, plugging you in, grounding and connecting into the earth. All the while around you is something quite expanded, quite bright, very warm, that this can happen simultaneously. And in fact, the body feels really good with that support. So just take your time here. Take a second to just really lean into that. Feeling that bright, warm, expanded energy protecting an injured spot. Or just even nourishing it with energetic support. And feeling your system so beautifully grounded into the planet. So this is just a little bit of energetic hygiene. Take a second here to feel what that feels like. Take an awareness, take a body scan of the whole system to have this groundedness and this shielding of light. And then this is a useful technique. Anytime you start to feel a little fatigued, something feels particularly injured, you're walking into a dense area, this is a kind of an energetic support to just allow you your own integrity regardless of the field that you're in, regardless of the collective. This is a really good thing to do in any really public spaces like a movie theater or a concert hall or a subway or a bus. Good. Thank you. Find your way with this. Just keep playing with it. It gets stronger and stronger the more that you practice with it.